There's a lot of challenges, and without getting into the details of any particular conversation, several fairly seasoned senior Republicans have surprised me by saying they'd be willing to vote for something up to $1 trillion. And they're willing to raise some taxes to pay for it. One of the challenges is which taxes. There are some Republicans saying they're willing to raise the gas tax. They're willing to impose a new, what's called vehicle miles traveled fee for road infrastructure, as long as this is dedicated to improving road infrastructure on electric vehicles. And there is some resistance on the part of others to doing anything that would roll back the TCJA, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, the Trump era Republican-only tax cut package from 2017. You've also reported, and others have reported, there are some in my caucus who are resisting the idea of raising the corporate rate to 28. But there are more ways than one to raise revenue. We've got a much bigger menu than just the gas tax and the corporate rate. Frankly, there are lots of ways that large corporations, particularly multinational corporations, avoid paying taxes at all. And while what gets reported in the news is sort of the faceplate, is it 35 or 21 or 28, right, the base rate number? The reality is that an awful lot of the largest companies pay much less than 28%, but that's because of complex tax code provisions. If there are political challenges with raising the rate to 28, then I think we need to be having a conversation about what are the pay-fors. The other option, frankly, is for us to not fully pay for it. And in talking with some Republicans and some of my Democratic colleagues this week, look, we just passed $4 trillion worth of pandemic relief last year. And only Democrats. We passed the American Rescue Plan at $1.9 trillion just a few weeks ago. And that's now sending out checks to, I think, 80% of American households. So in the choice between raising taxes significantly and simply looking at each other and saying we need a robust recovery, I think it's more likely that we will have a package that is not paid for and that is less robust, but still putting hundreds of billions of dollars into infrastructure. You mentioned that I ride the rails regularly when I go back and forth to Washington. There's $80 billion in the president's proposal. I think we need to invest that kind of amount of money for the rail system in the United States to get back up to safe operating standards. And I think it would pay huge dividends for us to invest in passenger rail, in airports, in water ports, in seaports, forgive me, and in the highways of our nation.
That's some news, Anna. I'm just for everyone watching, that was pretty newsy. Go ahead, Anna.
All right. Well, we got a lot to cover.